Why did I start a candle brand? That is a great question. Before we get started, welcome back to our brand journey series. This is episode 2, and my name is Jenny, and I am the founder of Sincerely Sunday, and we are a candle brand on a mission to redefine the way we candle. On this episode, we're going to talk about why I started Sincerely Sunday, and I'm going to break it down to 3 parts. Why I started a business, why I started a candle business, and what I wanted to do differently in that business. So if you guys are ready, let's dive right in. So why did I start a business? Well, this one's pretty straightforward. It's because I lost my job. I'm going to take you guys back to 2021 where I was going through a career transition. So basically, I had just left my job in real estate and I decided to go into UX design. I enrolled in a boot camp, did that for a couple months, and eventually I landed my first gig. Towards the end of that contract, I was under the impression that it was going to be renewed, and that wasn't the case. So when I found out I was going to be let go, I needed to find a second source of income, which brings me to point number 2. Why did I start a candle business? It was probably 2-3 weeks after I found out I was being let go, and I was riding my bike at home and I was listening to a podcast. And on that podcast, there's a guest speaker who said she taught herself how to make candles during the pandemic. So in that moment, I was like, I can do that. I can make candles. Meanwhile, I've never made a candle a day in my life. So the next day I went on Amazon and I bought a bunch of basic candle supplies, candle wax, wicks, fragrance oils, etc. And I spent the next 2 to 3 months teaching myself everything I now know about candles. So at the end of that 2-3 month period, I spent a lot of money on everything. And I thought to myself, well, why not try to make something out of it? Like there's so many people out there that have candle brands as a side business. Why not do the same and try? So I did. That brings me to my third point. What was I going to do differently? So in the research process, there's a lot of things I found out that I did not like about the candle industry. Number 1, candles tend to be really expensive. This one's pretty obvious. You don't need to do research to figure that out. You can easily go into a store and see that a candle is $10, go into another store, see that a candle is $100. I understand there being a price difference because that's reality, but what it made me think about was, are the materials being used for this $100 candle that much better or that much different than the materials being used for the $10 candle? So now that I've been in the industry for a while, I do know without a doubt there is a difference, but does it justify a huge price difference? That is the question. So that brings me to the second thing I didn't like. As you guys know, there's a lot of candles out there that are made with poor quality ingredients, and they tend to be the candles that are on the more affordable side versus the better, quote unquote, higher quality candles tend to be more expensive. And again, I am all for a price difference because that is the reality of life and different quality goes into everything. But what I really didn't like about that was people are essentially put into situations where they have to choose between price and health. For something that's so simple and so basic as a candle, I feel like for the most part should be pretty easily accessible to everybody. And the last thing I didn't like was how much waste the candle industry was producing. As part of the whole research process, I spoke to a lot of people and I asked everybody the same question. What do you do with candle jars after you're done? Everybody, and I mean everybody, said the same thing. They all threw it out. It's not because they wanted to, because a lot of these jars were really pretty, but it's because they didn't know what to do with them, so they just threw it out. So when I started Sincerely Sunday, I didn't know exactly what I was going to do, how I was going to do it, or exactly what our differentiator was going to be, but I knew at a bare minimum, those are the 3 pain points I wanted to tackle. Because if I feel this way, I'm going to assume other people also feel the same way. So to recap, why did I start Sincerely Sunday? I started a business because I needed a second source of income. I started a candle business because I got really excited from a podcast, and we have the values that we do because I wanted to create change. So I hope you guys found this episode interesting. There's a lot more to come, and I'll see you guys in the next video.